Hello and welcome to Philosophy and the Agents of Change. This is my audio blog for the 2nd of May, and I'm so excited to share with you my story, which is how I went from a rule-following Catholic Good Girl to a unique Intergalactic Soul Activator. So, that's a huge transformation that I went through in order to actually live in line with my soul. And along this journey, I learned some amazing stuff that I really want to share with all agents of change, because you are unique, you are special, and we need you so much on this planet to bring in your change, to bring in your unique power and your amazing gift, because this universe is like a symphony and you're the only one playing your piece. And without your piece, we are struggling. We need you. And so I just wanted to share this with you because I've been through a really radical shift in my identity, because as I was born into a Catholic family and raised with a whole bunch of, rules and regulations on what it means to be a human, I was very stunted. I was very robotic, and I just followed these rules because I thought that that's what I needed to do to be an accepted, loved, and valuable human. However, my soul, my amazing catalyst that is within me, had other ideas, which is that the first part of my life was just training in order to prepare me for what I needed to do on this planet, which is catalyze change. So I'm the catalyst that starts the other catalysts who need a bit of help or who need a bit of support. And that's what I'm here to do. So this is a story which is based on giving you some tools and tips to actually be an effective agent of change in your own life, which then spreads out across hundreds of thousands of souls. Whether you know it or not, whether you're physically able to shake hands with that person who you changed their life, you are also emitting vibrational waves that affect people when you're walking down the street or when you're sleeping at night. Like, I'm so passionate about knowing that you have an effect and you are an amazing being who is here to affect change. Please trust yourself. And so, as you go along on the journey of change, I have some pointers for you which I learned because I started out in a very regimented way of life. They told me, how to look, how to dress, how to speak. They gave me everything that I needed to do as a woman or as a girl, as a female. They gave me everything I needed to do for the trajectory of my whole life, which is, serve God, go to church, receive the sacraments, all this kind of stuff. And, I did it. I followed it. So in some ways it was really cool because I did feel accepted and I did feel as though I was, living in a way that satisfied me. But then I came across some experiences which involved who I really was. These experiences, these out-of-body experiences, involved my soul. This piece of perfect divinity that cannot be scratched, that cannot be hurt, that cannot be squashed. And once I experienced this part of myself, it gave me powers. Yes, superpowers. Like X-Men and these humans who look like humans have mutant abilities. Every single soul has its own ability, which if it just taps into, brings in transformational energies to this plane where everybody seems to be copying everybody else. And they do this to be accepted, to be loved. They think they have to be like someone else in order to get what they want. Well, I'm radically challenging that. I'm saying no way, absolutely no way. You do not have to do what other people are doing to get accepted. The principle of my transformation is that I am a divine being who gives to myself what I need. And as I give to myself from the limitless supply of source divinity, I then meet other people who also can give me what I need. Not because I need it, but because they have it and they want to share it with me. It's a completely opposite paradigm of survival of the fittest, which is competition, which is eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, bite, scratch, steal, and rob whoever you can because there's not enough. It's a load of bullshit. Don't buy into it. Do not listen to the people who say that there is a limit on anything, because Once you tap into the divine peace, your life principle, your life spark that is within you, you can and do have access to limitless creative powers. Let me just repeat that. You can have access to limitless creative powers. That means there is no cap. There is no end in sight. There is no insufficient funds or limited resources. These have just been created by the illusion of separation from divinity. So as we've evolved as spiritual beings in human bodies, we identified so strongly with the human body that that's what we thought we were. We thought we were just this body, this little fleshy thing that moves around the planet. We thought that's all we were. But this happens because of the illusion that we're not connected to the place where we came from, which is a spiritual source, which doesn't have a body. So let me just help you to understand that you need to find your pathway to your limitless supply of creative energy. It's inside you. It is not outside you. You do not have to pay anybody for it. You can get teaching and instructions on how to get to it, but the source of your power cannot be locked away from you and be someone else cannot make money off that source of creative power within you. It's yours, and it's up to you to actually go on the daring journey of finding your way to this power. And that is why I want to tell you about my journey to actually becoming a unique intergalactic soul activator. Ever since I was tiny, within the bounds of my religious upbringing, I knew from the incredible excitement and power within me that I was here to do an amazing thing. So nobody told me this. My parents barely recognized who I was. They weren't saying, wow, you're magnificent, wow, you're powerful, wow, you're something special. No, not at all. I was one of a big group, of a herd of children, and I was not recognized. However, whenever I came across this thought that I had something amazing within me, my energy skyrocketed. I would get so tapped in to this power that would just run through me and absolutely amplify my whole experience of life in the moments that I was tapped into this power. However, my parents, my teachers, and a lot of the people I interacted with had a problem with me. I was too loud or too bright or too noisy or too creative, or I asked too many questions. And so after, a whole 12 years of schooling, I was pretty shut down and had learned that if I wanted to be accepted and wanted the pat on the back that children need, I would have to follow the rules. So this part of my soul, which was so easily accessible from the age of 2 when I had my first memories, it was shut down through societal programming. But it didn't disappear. It just got covered over. And then when I finished school, I was like, what am I going to do? I had some psychic experiences where I talked with an entity, and I made a deal with this entity that I would go and follow the path of a religious vocation. And so I landed up in a convent, and I lived in a convent, and I was a nun for 2.5 years, participating in a system of indoctrination, which on one hand was terrible, because I now feel so sorry for the indoctrination that I participated in. But at the same time, it was amazing because I went straight from school into an educational environment where I discovered that I am a phenomenal teacher. And it was this natural ability because it requires connection, it requires insight, it requires creativity, it requires diversity. And because I was in the experience, I began to activate. On top of that, I was around huge amounts of kids, these creative sparks who are not yet programmed, even though I was trying to program them. So their unique and wonderful ways of seeing the world began to spark in me my own growing back to who I really was. So it began stripping away those layers of